Let's get into it. Sorry for the different background. I still tried to represent the clothing brand, the podcast brand. Public Enemy #1 behind me there. Public Enemy #2, perhaps. Perhaps in the, actually, you shouldn't say Public Enemy, Government Enemy #1 right here. Let's get into it, guys. I'm on vacation with the family, but the content does not stop. So let's get into what we're talking about. 50 Cent hit Capitol Hill. It was very eventful. Let's hear what he had to say. Now, everybody knows that he put an endorsement for Trump in while he was there, but let's play some other stuff just so you guys can see what happened. This is when 50 Cent actually hit Capitol Hill. Big buzz, much bigger buzz than I thought there would be. Now, I don't know if a lot of people know, but 50 Cent, in my mind, is hip-hop's Donald Trump. I mean, he has done a lot of the same things. Supermodels, you know, not anti-white, not anti-black, you know, mingles with everybody. Very, very, very smart businessman. Has, you know, touched all parts of New York, has done real things, has built real connections in New York, just like Trump. Even went bankrupt the same way Donald Trump did. And when I bring that up, I don't mean it in a negative way whatsoever. 50 Cent made sure to let people know when Donald Trump went bankrupt that you shouldn't count him out. And he actually was reported, and I quote, he said, when Donald Trump is broke and you're broke, they're two different things. He's going to be just fine. Later on, Donald Trump net worth went right up, skyrocketed. And 50 Cent later did the same thing. And he laughed about it. When somebody was like, I heard you're broke. He's like, yeah, I'm broke. And he laughed it off. So they're both very, very smart individuals. A lot of people think when you go bankrupt, it's the worst thing in the world. But this gentleman knows better. Here's some words he had to say when he was on Capitol Hill. Let's listen to that.
It's definitely not my traditional platform. I should have studied this like a verse and just bust a rap. It's exciting for me to be here. I got a chance to meet with both sides today, and it feels really good. Like, they don't agree. They don't agree on a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? So to get them to agree on seeing me was an accomplishment in itself. As far as today, I went to talk to them about economic opportunities for everybody, and it's really exciting. The response I got makes me feel like that there's bright things ahead of us.
50 Cent, Capitol Hill. Now, the person that he's shaking hands with right there is Ben Crump. Or Crumb? Or is it Crump? I feel like it can't possibly be Crump, but I think it is. Yeah, it is. No disrespect, just sounds funny. He's a civil rights activist, lawyer, attorney, civil rights attorney. So the guy's very left-leaning. And he was kind of being 50 Cent's liaison throughout the whole thing. So the fact that he said what he said about Trump is very, very interesting. I can only imagine that that gentleman's heart stopped when he decided to kind of take Trump's side and say that black men are definitely identifying with Trump. Here's a little more on that.
Leader Chuck Schumer announced they will vote on IVF protections next week in the Senate. But on Capitol Hill today, it was a rapper who got a lot of attention. CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole Killian joins us. Nicole, you got a chance to catch up with 50 Cent. What did 50 have to say?
Well, 50 or 50, depending on how you refer to him. I mean, look, he was up here for a specific reason. He was accompanied by civil rights attorney Ben Crump, and he really wanted to advocate for a generational wealth when it comes to African Americans in particular. He has a number of companies, including one that involves spirits, and so he wants to see an increase in minority representation. You know, he felt that he didn't get a fair shake when he first started his business and wants to expand opportunities again for people of color. So that was the nature of his visit. But in that context, I did ask him about the election because the Biden administration has done a lot of work in this space. But at the same time, 50 Cent has made comments in the past, including back in 2020, where he suggested that people vote for then President Trump, although he later walked those comments back. So I asked him what he's thinking about the upcoming election. Take a listen. I mean, we're heading into another election, so have you made a decision about who you're going to support?
I'm not sure how to answer that question, to be honest with you.
Have you made a decision?
I haven't.
What do you see as the significance of African American men in this election for both of you?
I see them identifying with Trump.
Why do you say that?
Because they got RICO charges.
And I don't know if he was referencing the case down in Georgia, where we, of course, know that former President Trump has been charged and is facing RICO charges in that state. But that aside, what is significant about his comments is that, again, back in 2020, his then support briefly of former President Trump got a lot of attention. And being a major figure like that, that can be influential when it comes to the African American vote. And so similarly, we know both campaigns are really trying to advocate for the black vote. We have seen the president's support slip among African American voters. The issue even garnering a lot of attention here on Capitol Hill in a separate issue with leader Hakeem Jeffries and Byron Donalds, kind of now in an internal beef because Byron Donalds made some comments at a campaign event just yesterday suggesting that African Americans were better under Jim Crow, to which Hakeem Jeffries.
Well, that's for another video, but that's absolutely not true. Byron Donalds did not say that at all. But the one thing that African Americans, the black community, can all agree on is that 50 Cent is smart. No one looks at 50 Cent and says, he's just one of those dumb rappers, because the way that he got into rap was very intelligent. He signed the biggest signing bonus ever. At the time when he signed to a major label, it was from Eminem. He worked with Dr. Dre. He made a classic album. It sold millions and millions and millions of copies, hard copies, no streaming back in that day. And then he turned that into a group, G Unit. He turned that into a record label. He turned that into a TV deal. He took Smart Water. He invested in that. So everybody looks at 50 Cent, especially the fact that he actually wrote a book. It's called The 50th Law of Power, where he breaks down the art of war in regards to the street life that he used to live. Everybody knows 50 Cent is a very, very smart person. So when he tells you something about people identifying with Donald Trump, you have to look at that a little different. When he brings up RICO charges, you have to look at that a little different. There was a street era in New York where a lot of real things happened, and he was associated with some very real people, and someone actually tried to assassinate him, shot him 9 times. He knows about this type of stuff through and through. I have very little knowledge in comparison to him. Like, he knows about this. So when he says they're going to identify with Trump because they have RICO charges, Donald Trump was told he was racist for saying that type of thing. When 50 Cent actually backs that up and says, yeah, that is why they're going to identify with him, it hits a lot different. It kind of takes that little label that they tried to put on Donald Trump as being racist because he said they identify him because of the charges. Kind of makes, it's very interesting that he just said that. And it's very true, because there's a lot of people. It's not a regular African American community thing. Like, African American people who are black in the suburbs are not sitting around like, oh man, Fred got hit with those RICO charges and now I've got to go to the courts. Oh man, it's not like that. But he knows there's a lot of street dudes who have families who get hit with RICO charges, and it just starts hitting all sorts of people. And people know that it's usually very trumped up charges, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to gather up a lot of people and say, hey, you're going to get hit with the same charges as this guy unless you can tell us some stuff about him. And the way they go about it is very dirty, very shady. And the fact that Trump got hit with those same charges, and also when you see the cases playing out, also very dirty, also very shady. Obviously, a lot of the black community is going to identify with that because they know somebody. Not everybody, but a lot of people know somebody who was treated the exact same way. Now, Chelsea Handler had some things to say to 50 Cent about him supporting Trump over the years. Now, let's take a listen, and you tell me if 50 Cent has listened to her advice or not. Let's check this out right now and get a load of what she has to say. It's ridiculous.
Go.
You heard about my ex-boyfriend, right? 50 Cent, and his support of Donald Trump.
Yeah, what's going on between you? I saw your tweets and I go, wait, what's happening? Because you said he was your favorite ex-boyfriend, and then what does he do? He's supporting Trump?
He says he doesn't want to pay 62% of taxes, which, by the way, isn't a plan of Joe Biden's. That's a lie. So he doesn't want to pay 62% of taxes because he doesn't want to go from being 50 cent to 20 cent. And I had to remind him that he was a black person, so he can't vote for Donald Trump, and that he shouldn't be influencing an entire swath of people who may listen to him because he's worried about his own personal pocketbook. So I haven't heard back from him yet, but I am willing to, seal the deal in more ways than one if he changes his mind and publicly denounces Donald Trump. I might be willing to go for another spin, if you know what I'm talking about.
She's willing to go for another spin. Look at the mentality is so amazing. You're black. You cannot vote for Donald Trump. And also, I will give myself to you if you decide to publicly denounce Donald Trump. How insulting is that? That you have, it's hard because she brought up race. I usually don't like to just focus on race, but you have this white lady who's looking at this black guy that she dated, and he's saying he's black, he can't vote for Donald Trump. And also, I will give myself to you because you're not smart enough to want money or want this or just to want your own sovereignty of thought, just to be able to think and do as you please. You're not interested in that. You're going to be more interested in me because I'm the prize. So I'll give myself to you if you denounce this person. And it's 50 Cent of all people. It's not like it's Rick. It's not like it's Rick from down the street. No, it's 50 Cent, a guy who's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. That's the guy who you think you're going to proposition. That's the guy you're going to look at and say, you're black, you can't vote for Trump. I'm telling you, man, the mentality of liberals, and I won't even just put this on white liberals, because there's black people who are Democrats as well, who have the exact same thought process in regards to themselves and towards other black people, to the point where they see Trump voters who are people of color, black and Hispanic, and they say, oh, somebody brainwashed you. You're stating that you support Trump so you could be accepted by white people, so you can seem more American. Like it just doesn't stop. It's so silly, the thought process. And she put that on full display. Absolutely disgusting. Now, the question was, do you think 50 Cent actually listened to her? I don't think so. I think he was like, I'm too busy to respond. I'm actually going to Capitol Hill. So bye-bye. I'm actually in a meeting right now. Chelsea Handler, no kids, who brags about being able to smoke weed when she wakes up in the morning because she doesn't have any responsibilities. That's a real thing. Like, this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, when we go to what she actually talked about in terms of Biden's tax plan to have people pay 62%, it was in regards to the tax plan being combined with the state tax and the federal tax, and it would have gone up to about 62%. I did a calculation really quick. This is what 50 Cent would walk away with in New York if he made $20 million, as you can see right there, which he actually did make in 2023. I could understand why federal taxes, 37%. The effective tax would be 36.7. We'll just say 37. State taxes for New Yorkers, 10%, right? Effective would be 9.9. We'll just stick with the 10. He would have lost out, or did lose out, because he is a New Yorker, would have lost out on $9.3 million right there. Walks away with 10. Now, for most of us, that's still life-changing. That's still amazing. That's still FU money. But for someone like him, that's a big hit, especially if that could change dramatically if you just get a different person in office, someone like Donald Trump. So I just wanted to show you guys that. Also, I don't know if 50 Cent's going to listen to Chelsea Handler. I mean, not judging anybody, not making fun of anybody. I'm just saying this is the mother of his kid. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that this is the mother of his kid. That's all I'm saying. And I'm just showing you guys pictures. That's it. I'm just saying. I feel like he's good. Feel like he's good on that proposition. Just saying. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. Anyways, guys. 50 Cent did hit up pretty much everybody. Lauren Boebert, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, he met with as well. The senator of Louisiana he met with. Everybody really happy to see 50 Cent. Even, look at that, even with Nancy Pelosi. I guess gangsters got to meet up, you know? Gangsters got to meet each other. 50 Cent probably wanted some stock advice. He probably wanted some stock advice. He's like, Nancy, which one's going to hit next? She's like, if you vote for Biden, I'll tell you. He's like, it's not worth it. Gonna take all the money I make anyway. What's the point? Absolutely amazing. You know, gangsters, they gotta, you know, they gotta meet each other. They gotta shake hands. You know, that's what happens there. Anyways, guys, let's hear that again.
Have you made a decision?
I haven't.
What do you think is a
Thank you.
Just last question. What do you see as the significance of African American men in this election? For both of you.
I see them identifying with Trump.
Why do you say that?
Because they got RICO charges. And
They were trying so hard to move 50 Cent while he was saying that. Like, look at this. If you don't know, 50 Cent's like my size. I mean, he's taller than me. I think 50 Cent's like 6'2", 6'3". He's around 250, 260. You're not just going to move him because you don't want him to say something about Donald Trump, you know? Like, they're trying so hard to move him. He's like, I'm just going to stand here, guys. I'm 50 Cent, okay? Let's not make this into a thing. Just let me say what I got to say about Donald Trump. I really hope people understand what he's saying in regards to Donald Trump. You know, again, Trump got branded as racist for saying this. It's not racist. It's just that people of color, the black community, they feel the exact same way so many times. You know, right or wrong, they look at the system and they say, man, this, again, right or wrong, they will look at certain things that happen to them, certain charges, and be like, this is so messed up that they're doing this to me and they're trying to put me in jail. And like it or not, that's exactly what's happening to Donald Trump. He knows how many people of color and even white people have faced this whole thing where they're like, I know I did nothing wrong. I'm completely innocent. This shouldn't be happening to me. And then all of a sudden they're just like, yeah, you're guilty. So we'll figure out what we're going to do with you after. And it's like, same thing. Hey, can I go to my son's graduation? Maybe we'll see. Can I go? I have a thing in another state. Can I go? No, you can't actually. You actually have to stay in this state. It's like, that happens to people all the time, man. So good to see 50 Cent still standing his ground, even though he went to Capitol Hill. This is usually a point where a lot of people end up folding and they kind of just do whatever they're told. Not 50 Cent. He stood tall. He's still showing his support in Trump. And I think he's 100% right. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. I got to get back to the vacation. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Other than that, I'm out.